Hi, third graders. Welcome to your last language lesson for the week on this Friday. Go ahead and take out your language books, but you don't have to turn to a page just yet. I want to go over the rules for commas because we're going to learn about one more rule. But before we do, I want to go over the rules we know already. So use a comma. Number one, use a comma with a joining word to correct a run-on sentence, like comma and, comma but, comma or. Okay, that's when we use commas. Another way to use a comma is when you're saying yes or no at the beginning of a sentence. So if someone says, "Hey John, did you do your homework?" He'll say, "Yes, comma, I did my homework." So that's when you use a comma. Another instance where you use a comma is before and after the name of the person you are speaking to in a sentence. So if you're talking to someone, then you use a comma there. If you're talking about someone, you don't need to use a comma. It's been a while, but I hope you remember this particular funny um, instance. Let's eat grandpa. Let's eat grandpa. Well, do you want to eat grandpa or are you talking to grandpa? You're talking to him, so you got to put that comma. Let's eat grandpa. Now, if you didn't have that comma, poor grandpa. You're basically saying, let's eat grandpa. Yeah. So commas save lives, friends. Commas save lives. Remember that. Remember to use a comma when you're talking to someone. Next, you use a comma when you separate the name of a city and a state. Okay, so we go to school in Long Beach, comma, California. And I'll just initialize California like that. Long Beach, California. We also use a comma when we separate words or group of words in a series. That means when we're listing things. So if I list all my third graders, I'll say something like, the third graders in my class are Azion, comma, Jeremiah, comma, Dylan, comma, Leslie, comma, and Haley. And I don't need a comma after the word and because I'm not listing and. Lastly, we're going to use commas to separate parts of a date. And this sounds familiar to me because I went over this with the fourthies. So we're going to use commas to separate parts of a date. Let's look at this. Here we go. When you're writing the date, and I don't know if you've noticed how I write the date in the classroom on the whiteboard, but I always put the day, like either it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then I put a comma after the day, and then I put the date, the month, the date, and the year. So here's an example. Monday, comma, September 18th, comma, 2017. And when we go back to the classroom, you'll notice that too. I always put the date like this, the day, the month, the day, and the year. You'll see that. Okay, so let's practice this. So we know this rule, so we're going to do some level 3 thinking where we apply the rule in different situations. So for May 18, 1903, I don't put the comma, so you can use this rule up here. I don't put the comma after the month. I put it after the date. Some kids, they forget that it's after the date. It's not after the month. Okay, so number 2, it's after the date, right? Make sure your commas look like commas. I've had students in the past, their commas look like this, up in the air. And they say, I put the comma, look, but that's not a comma. That's an apostrophe, okay? And they would get it wrong on a test. So I've honestly had students do this, okay? They would put it like that, and that's wrong. It needs to be below, all right? Okay, 3, you put a comma after the date. Number 4, you put the comma after the date. Now notice I'm not putting periods at the end of these because they're not sentences. I've had students put periods at the end. No, 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 no. Okay, I'm looking for commas. Now here, ooh, number 5, Wednesday. Ooh, they give you the day. So again, take a look at our example up here. You put a comma after the day. So I'm going to put a comma after Wednesday, and I'm going to put a comma after 27. All right? Does it look familiar now? Go ahead and try number 6 through 10 on your own. Like you can pause the video to try 6 and 10 on your own, and then unpause it to check your work. Okay, are you unpause? All right, so here for number 6 through 10, you have Thursday, comma, January 1, comma, 2004. Sunday, comma, June 3rd, comma, 1898. Now, I'm not going fast. You should have done this all on your own, like paused it. And again, if you ever need to pause the video or rewind, you feel free to do that. Thursday, comma, July 9th, comma, 2020. Saturday, comma, March 24th, comma, 2018. October 23rd, comma, 1947. All right, let's look closely. Oh, we're going to look at concluding sentences. So yesterday we looked at topic sentences and how the topic sentence gives a preview of what the paragraph will be about. That was fun. So today we're going to look at how to end the paragraph. And again, whenever I listen to your journal reading with Miss Cargill, I hear some of you have really good concluding sentences. And it impressed me. I was like, whoa, where did they learn how to do that? All right. So a concluding sentence finishes a paragraph by telling the readers what the paragraph was about. It gives the same information that is in a topic sentence but uses different words. So here's some topic sentences. My favorite outdoor activity is camping. And then the whole paragraph is going to talk about what you do when you go camping. Remember, a paragraph has 5 to 7 sentences. So for the next, 5 sentences, you'll talk about how cool it is to go camping and what you do. And then the 7th sentence will be your concluding sentence. So here, I can conclude the whole paragraph by saying, I really enjoy outdoor camping, right? That's basically summarizing the rest of the paragraph or the whole paragraph. So you can write something like, I really enjoy outdoor camping. Or you can say something like, that is why I like outdoor camping, or that is why outdoor camping is my favorite activity. So you can say something along those lines. If you think of something different, let me know during our meeting. I really enjoy outdoor camping. So again, you can say something like, that is why outdoor camping is my favorite activity. Or you can say, I really like outdoor camping as your concluding sentence. Number 2, we should have a class pet. And then you have to, so that's the first sentence of your paragraph. The next 5 sentences will talk about why you should have a class pet. And then you have a concluding sentence. Your 7th sentence talks about why you should have a class pet. Concludes the whole thing, like it summarizes the whole paragraph. So maybe you can say something like, and that is why a class pet would be great. Or you can say something like, a class pet would be great for our class. That's kind of redundant. So I can say something like, a class pet would be great, and you're done. Okay, that would be the concluding sentence. Flamingos are interesting birds. So that's your first sentence of the paragraph. Flamingos are interesting birds. Then the next 5 sentences would talk about why they're interesting birds, right? And then after that, the 7th sentence would just be the concluding sentence. Like, let's see. Flamingos are interesting birds. Then your concluding sentence has to be very similar to this. Flamingos are interesting birds. I guess you can just say flamingos are interesting. Oh no, that would be too redundant, too repetitive. That is why flamingos are interesting, I guess. If you think of one, go ahead and share it at our meeting. Okay, and then lastly, I have the kindest friend. So that's the topic sentence. So the rest of the paragraph is going to talk about why your friend is very kind. And then your last sentence is going to just conclude everything. So I have the kindest friend. And then you can end by saying, he is very kind to me. Yeah, or she is very kind to me. So whatever you want to put down, if you're talking about your friend who's a boy or your friend who's a girl. So I'll put she. She is very kind to me! Exclamation point. This will all come together really one day when you in like your writing lessons with Miss Cargill or even with me. Um, why it's important to have a topic sentence and a concluding sentence. But very good job so far for today. Page 64. On Jupiter, remember, here I'll put up a new sign. On Jupiter, let's use a different color. Ooh, pink. Let's make it thicker. So on Jupiter, you have a quiz. So please do quiz 6 on Jupiter, okay? Thank you very much. And remember, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to bring it up to our meeting later today.